and it gives Man United a chance to win a game and then close a points gap on both of you. So I'm, excited about the prospects of that.
You go into positive goal difference.
You know what's so mad, Terry?
I always don't want to. Like it's like a dream of
played,
mine to not do it. I don't want to.
Terry, by the time we would have played, Brentford would have won 2-1 and Buemo brace and United fans would just be pulling their hair out again. You would have lost by then.
I mean, can you not believe they're back at training now, our players and manager, and he ain't gone? I mean, it feels like he's going.
He was doing kick-ups around the world.
Amazing.
Yeah, mate, this is what's mad, right? He's going. Ten Hag is going, but we just don't know. It's like a London bus. You know it's going to come around the corner, but you don't know when. I don't know when it's going to happen. Tuchel's lined up as his replacement. We're talking to Sebastian Holness, a number of good managers we're linked to as well. I'm excited about, but it's still, I can't.
I need the United win this weekend just to keep it down a little bit because he's getting him in a now. I just need a win to be like,
I guarantee he goes on a 3-game win streak now.
That's what I'm saying. How many wins do you think he needs to get the confidence from the board again? Like if you go and win like 7 or 8 games in a row.
7 or 8, Henry.
I bet. Obviously, it's not.
I just need him.
Henry talks bollocks.
December the 3rd. As long as he's there, December the 3rd.
Bro, April 1st, bro.
No, but I'm just saying, if United, for whatever reason, go and win, let's say 3 or 4, but they go and win the next 4 games, they can't sack him. There's no way.
4 games. Has he ever won 4 games in a row at United?
Yeah,
I don't think so. Yeah, he has. In his first season.
I don't think he has.
Oh, he has.
I don't think he has. To be honest, if you look at their fixtures, I think that's quite impossible. But 2-3 they can do.
They just
has he won 4 in a row at United?
I maybe. I don't
Definitely
know.
not in the Prem. Maybe all come.
No. I remember doing this stat a couple of seasons. He might have done it in his first season. We went on quite a good run in his first 6 months after the opening 2 games. But I read a stat not long ago that since Fergie retired, I think we've only won 5 league games on the bounce twice in 11 years.
Oh,
like we've just been awful, absolutely awful. And yeah, I actually
think Ineos keeping him kind of should be making you question them a little bit because they started off real nice, like they were doing the right thing.
Don't you dare question Ineos. Don't you dare question Ineos.
Chill, fuck you lot, man.
You're speaking too loud.
Do you know what? I do question them, but I don't understand the decision. Beth from the United Stand tweeted something, and it's one of those things that I'm choosing to agree with it because it makes me feel better, right? I can admit that. And it was almost maybe they know what they're doing and we just can't see the plan yet. Maybe there is a method to this madness. Maybe they don't want Rude on an interim basis. Maybe the person they want isn't available. I don't know. I can't understand it though. This is the thing. I always will try to look for the positive or the explanation. I don't get it whatsoever.
There's no ambition. Like that's what it is. And I feel like they should have sacked him after he won the FA Cup. That was the best time to get rid of him. Now, my fault, bro. But I'm just saying.
The thing is, though, these guys, you're not gonna get
for a minute. This is a big platform, bro. You're doing the most now. Like Ten Hag's gonna cook.
Yeah, relax,
listen. I hear it. It's one of those things where I'm not willing to turn my back on what they're trying to do. However, I get the calls. Right now, it definitely looks unambitious. Right now, it definitely looks as though there isn't a plan. I don't understand it. I don't get what they think is going to change in the next few weeks. The only maybe it's money. Maybe there's a percentage of wins he has to have in the opening certain period of a season, and they can sack him cheaper. That would make a bit more sense. But even then, I'd rather give him more money to get him out and get somebody else in. So yeah, I don't have any excuses. I don't have any valid reasons. It is frustrating. And that the worst part about it is I have no joy in looking forward to my team play. And that's more painful than not winning because I can accept not winning because I'm not entitled in that way. Not looking forward to the game because I have no belief that we can play well. That's the horrible bit. Like genuinely the horrible bit for me as a fan. I'm not trying to make any of you look at Cal smile. Fuck off, bro.
We've been there, bro. We've been there. I remember every weekend waiting for the game, thinking it's about to kick off. I don't know what's going to happen. Will we win? Will we lose? Will we play?
Do you know the most when people say, "But Terry, why are you more complimentary about Man City and Chelsea and Arsenal than you are Man United?" Sometimes I think that person is allowed to use a toaster. They're allowed to use a hairdryer. They can go near hot water. I think, how are you asking that question? Genuinely, it's crazy to me. I hate it. But this weekend could be painful for us. We're at home against Brentford. How bad do you think the loss has to be this weekend for him to get sacked?
You'll win this game. You'll go behind, but you'll win this game. You'll
go behind in the first minute.
And it'll be a stinky one as well.
None will be standing still, innit? We know how it goes. You'll concede first, but you'll win the game. And then that'll give him a couple more weeks.
I just think regardless of the result, if he's sacked, I think if he's lost, like if it's just a 2-1 or a 1-0, he's gone.
No, but
there's no McTominay this time to bail you out.
December the 3rd,
Henry, I said it this international break that God forbid it happens, but he's getting sacked and they still haven't sacked him. So I just feel like he's got a bit more time.
With Man United,
praise and worship for Eric Ten Hag.
I feel like whenever Man United do sack a manager, they always end up doing it too late. So like we saw with Ole, there was these times where they had the chance to sack him in like the international break, but then they waited and then he'd lost like 2 games and then they didn't end up sacking him anyway. So I feel like it's probably going to be a similar process with this one. Even though it's different owners, I think they still end up sacking him mid-season. They've got another international break in 4 weeks, so maybe they're giving him the 4 weeks to turn it around.
But does it even matter, though?
Dangerous game to be playing, man.
Because if you do sack Ten Hag, right, I still don't think that United squad's good enough to do anything. Like, regardless, I still feel like
I mean,
trash.
Yeah, well, Will, our squad is still gonna the squad, regardless of what manager we have, is gonna take 2 or 3 summers to get anywhere near top level. That there's no doubt about that. But we've been outplayed by the likes of FC20. Forget like losing to Liverpool, Spurs. Like losing to Spurs, it's filthy, bruv. Like losing to these teams, it's unacceptable. We have got the players to play much better football than we do. We just have terrible basics. But of course we do. No, we absolutely. There is no way. There's only 3 teams, I think, in the whole of Europe that have scored less goals than us. Right? You can't tell me we have the 5th. Yeah, I think there's. I read a stat. Palace and 2 other teams that have scored less goals than us, right? The point I'm making
is a little crazy. That is a little crazy.
If there's no way any of you, even could keep a straight face and say we have the 4th worst attack in the whole of European football. We don't. We get outplayed in terms of possession and on the ball by relegation teams. None of you truly believe their squads are better than our squads.
But like, look at your attacking players who you're looking to hold the ball. Like, you don't have a technical team at all.
Maybe not.
Like a majority of your team, they're better off the ball. So I feel like how Ten Hag plays, it is actually better suited to the personnel that you have.
Couldn't actually go for it.
Now you see, I hear what Terry's saying, but in 2024, Manchester United, their winger options are Garnacho, Rashford. What's the
Anthony, don't forget
Anthony and Ahmad. Like, what are we doing here?
Listen, but this is the thing. I understand the challenge. I understand the challenge. But you guys would have if you guys said that about our midfield 6 months ago, one of the first names out there that you'd have all laughed at was Scott McTominay. Now, everybody in Italy right now is saying, why have they let this guy go? Look at our players when they... Look at Bruno play the other night. I know he missed a really bad chance, but go watch Bruno play for Portugal. He looks a different human being. Harry Maguire, right? I actually watched in England last night, and England missed Harry Maguire. Watch him for England, the majority of his England career, not a foot wrong. Comes back to Man United, looks like a chuckle brother. You're going to see someone like Rashford leave. He's going to go PSG. He might go Barcelona. It might go, AC Milan. He's going to go somewhere like that. And then within 6 months, everyone's going to go, why did you let him go? Look how good he is. They're not as bad as they look. Everyone leaves that club.
The same thing about the other 3.
But collectively, they're bad together.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And it's a combination of badly drilled basics, culture at the club, and then poor mentality from these individuals. That there's something... Benny McCarthy was talking about it in an interview this week, and I don't think he's lying. He just said that we'd watch them train, and you would think as a coach and an ex-footballer, wow, look at them move. They could beat anyone. They go out on the Saturday, and you're like, is this the same human beings? And as someone that used to compete at quite a high level, I had friends that would be in the gym, and they'd spar. They'd beat in sparring. They'd beat in training. Some of our best fighters were winning world titles. They'd go on the mats themselves on a Saturday at a tournament. they'd look a shadow of themselves. And whether it's the crowd, whether it's the media pressure, whether it's the combination of these things, we just struggle. And there's a part of me that thinks that what Man United might need to do is strip everything back to a point where you look at our squad and go, that looks like a Ipswich squad, and then rebuild from that point. Because every superstar we've bought in the last 11 years has failed. Every good talent we have that we sign young or bring through the academy goes backwards. You look at Tanya now. Everybody's going, oh my God, I'd love Angel Gomez. He wouldn't be this good if he stayed at United. You look at the left back, who's left is now Benfica that everyone wants. He wouldn't have been that good if he stayed at my club. Suddenly everyone wants him. Nearly every player that leaves our club goes up a level again. There's something wrong with Man United fundamentally, which is why I don't look at the squad and go, yeah, they're just crap players. They're not. It's the whole package is bad. I'm not saying none of the players are bad. Right? I'm not making that claim. But the fact that last season we got outplayed home and away against Sheffield United, I don't believe Sheffield United have better players in my squad. Can't believe it.
Do you know what, Taldo? Where I agree with Will, I even think, because the players you have right now, of course you're better than, I don't even know where you are, bottom half. But I still think with an even more competent manager, your ceiling is probably still about 7th or 8th, because I still just think there's other teams in the Prem that are just better. What I would say is that you can pick up domestic cups, possibly even Europa, because say what you want, and this is what Ten Hag never fails to mention in every interview, they have still won trophies. So I don't put trophies past United. However,
element,
fans are sick of that because you've been used to it. But I think in terms of league, it's 8th. 8th is the ceiling, even with a better manager.
I'm happy to accept that. But if we started seeing better football, but didn't quite have the players to get over the line, it's easy to fix. You just start with Man United. You can show players, look how well we're playing. We just need your quality rather than that quality. And you just add better players into the mix, and then you start going up the lead. The problem is we don't have the basics right. And again, I watched Xerxes. I watched the Dutch game. He didn't score. His hold-up play was good. Ball was sticking to him, playing people in. He looked great. Played for Man United. Yeah. I mean, again, the one thing our manager hasn't tried yet is our 2 strikers together who would complement each other. You got one that's great at hold-up play, the other that runs off the shoulder, but we only ever have one of them on the pitch at the same time. It's so many things that are so frustrating. I'm so angry. I want to stop talking about it. I'm sorry.
I don't think Ten Hag has an idea on that.
Sorry?
I don't think he has an idea on how to play 2 strikers. I don't think that he tactically has that ability to even fathom playing them tactics.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Henry talks Arsenal. Can I buy you an Arsenal shirt?
Yeah, I want my arse of it. Yeah.
7 wins in a row. Yeah, in FIFA or in my sleep is what Joshua Jack says. He's a United fan. Stu Buck, 1 month as a member. Top man, thank you. He says Chelsea play better currently against teams that will come at us. Let's see the spaces you leave in that attack.
No, but it's vice versa. It's literally vice versa. So it works both ways.
It does. Also, Liverpool are nowhere near as expansive now as they were under Jurgen Klopp. Very controlled team under Slot. So that's why I think this game, I'm so excited about it. It's going to be such a great game to watch.
You know what's scary as well? I genuinely don't think we've come out of first gear. I still think there's gears for our team to go up. So the fact we've come this far...
That's why you're so confident about this weekend, Rums. Exactly.
Don't bite, Rums. Don't bite. Don't bite.
Couldn't they know what he's doing? Couldn't they know what he's doing?
Don't bite, bro. You're right, couldn't
Gregory here says Terry's right. When you can't pinpoint the problem in order to be better, the team, you're in deep shit. And no one can pinpoint the actual problem at Man United. No one, not even top United fans, top Reds, because every time we think, oh yeah, get rid of him or get rid of this manager, nothing really improves. It's going to be a gradual thing. It's going to take years. That's why this idea of just like have high standards and moan and next season you'll be great is bullshit. It's going to take a long time to fix our club, and that is the truth.
I think though, with a much better coach and better recruitment, you look at Aston Villa, right? Steven Gerrard had them 16th, 17th. You bring in a gaffer who's actually got an idea how to coach a football team and better recruitment. They're now playing Champions League football.
We've got to remember our squad wasn't even as good as this 2 years ago when we came third. So again, you start playing better football, players get confident. Again, things can change that quickly. They really can. Not winning the league though. There's a difference between going up the league and then winning it.
No trolling. no trolling. Would you have Ollie back on the interim till the end of the season? I swear I'm not even trolling, but would you?
No, I wouldn't. Would
you have Emery?
Unai Emery would be a coach I'd look at now. Yeah, I'd look at Unai Emery in terms of Premier League managers. Like, who genuinely would I go? I'm happy with that. I can see that doing well. Unai Emery's one of them. Of course, I'd fucking take Pep. There's no doubt about it, but it wouldn't happen. I'd take Arteta.
Ange?
Thomas Frank,
yes. I like Ange. My only problem with Ange would get hurt at our club. I want a manager who I know he's adaptable in the sense of, it's one of the reasons why I like Alonso. It's why I think Tuchel could be good for us right now. Thomas Frank on a lower level. We have got a squad where you can't just play one way. The squad isn't good enough to play one way every week. You need a manager that knows when you say, this week we've got to be more pragmatic. The next game we can be more dominant, control the ball. That's my only issue with Ange. It's one way of playing. We'd have some great weeks, and then we'd have some other weeks where we would get absolutely dicked down. So, I'd say that's not a dig at him. It's just the way he plays. No, we would.